Simon from WhatCulture here, and do I have a fun fact for you? Despite obviously always recognising how good he was, because, you know, he's really good, I was never that into Chris Jericho. I loved his run in WCW, I enjoyed his WWE debut, but after that, I was always a bit apathetic towards him. But now, I think it's only fair to say that Chris Jericho could be one of the greatest of all time. Why? Here's why. It's not unusual to realise how good someone has been until they get to a certain point. That's exactly how I feel about Chris Jericho right now. His latest incarnation is so good, so entertaining, just so much fun to watch, it's made me take a step back and go, you know what, yeah, you are that good. Chris Jericho, you are that good. Let's go right back to the start. Jericho made a name for himself by having amazing matches the world over. He was way ahead of his time as well when you think about the more agile style he gravitated towards, and that's why people started talking about him. When you show skill at something and start making a name for yourself, people will start to go, we should keep an eye on that guy. He could be something. For most of us though, we were probably never aware of the man formerly known as Lionheart until he got to WCW. And let's face it, when he did get to WCW, we all started to take notice. Although he was always stuck in the mid-card, you tuned in every week because you never really knew what Chris Jericho was going to do. Be it a stupid way to style his hair or the ever-remembered Man of 1004 Holds, which obviously is the best segment in WCW TV, he changed it up constantly. Then there was Ralphus, that ridiculous bodyguard he got himself, and that whole debacle with My Dad Goldberg. Now, regardless what you think about any of that, Chris Jericho coming to the ring each and every week and saying that he'd beaten Bill Goldberg just because Bill Goldberg didn't turn up, even though there was no scheduled match, was a riot. He was an ideas man, no doubt. This is why when he jumped to the WWE, it felt like a big deal, as that tremendous debut is testament to. Aside from the crowd reaction, which was awesome by the way, Jericho carried himself like a star. Well, he did at first anyway. Then he kinda hit a wall. There was nothing wrong with the first iteration of Chris Jericho under Vince, the same goofball he had been in WCW, and it was impossible not to realise how talented he was. But therein lied the problem. He was the same goofball. We'd seen this Jericho, and while Y2J gave him a new presentation, there hadn't been a huge shift, nor should there have been either. If you knew who he was, you wanted to see that guy around the WWE locker room, and if you didn't, well, there was still a lot to take away from it anyway. But be it because he didn't have as much creative control, or because he had to hit reset, as you often have to do when you start a new job, something just didn't click. It didn't feel right. Clearly someone somewhere thought the same thing too, because after going head-to-head with The Rock during his debut, he then wound up feuding with Road Dogg. In many ways, WWE essentially said, you gotta start again, Chris Jericho, and in hindsight, it may have been the best thing that ever happened to him. While his Y2J and Undisputed Championship runs were successful enough, it wasn't really until 2003 until it all kinda clicked into place. Jericho's heel persona, coupled with his match against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 19, just felt a bit different. It wasn't a huge change at the time, but everything from his mannerisms to the way he conducted himself made you think he completely bought into his own logic. It's why he blasted HBK in the balls after their match. He didn't deserve to lose. He was the man. He was certainly on another level until he left the company in August 2005. But it wasn't until he came back that this hint started to manifest itself. His whole code breaker, save us Y2J stuff was fine, but it wasn't until June 2008 that we really started to see just how diverse this man could be. Changing everything about his gimmick, Jericho became a slow-talking, long-word-using asshole, and it was fantastic. Everything he was involved in felt real, and his promos genuinely riled you up because you listened to them and went, he actually has a point, but I don't want to appreciate the fact that he has a point. He refused to sell merchandise and took everything that had made him a fan favourite before and threw it in a bin. It was frankly awesome, and no one could have pulled it off as well as Jericho. It was obvious that first and foremost it was his creation, and he knew exactly what he had to do to pull it off. And he started wearing pants. That doesn't sound like a big deal, but it completed the transformation. From there, forget about it. If Jericho had a concept in his brain, he would run with it, and no two were ever the same. There was that time when he used to walk to the ring all amped up but wouldn't speak. The sparkly jacket, when he kind of came across like an out-of-touch dad, and of course, stupid idiot Jericho. If you ever needed proof that Chris Jericho had the chops to not only change with the times, but to stay relevant with the current audience, his latest incarnation is just that, making it impossible not to be entertained. Jericho seems so self-aware of both himself and what WWE should be in 2016, he fits in perfectly. Be it one-liners, promos, that scarf, or the magnificent look he has on his face when he walks to the ring, modern-day Jericho is awesome. Is my favourite version of the man by a landslide, and he very much feels like a performer who's not only comfortable, but refuses to rest on his laurels. He was the highlight of the Raw show in London last week, and I imagine he's going to be the highlight at a lot more shows too. And you know what else? He's had amazing matches for 20 years plus. So I think at the very least, he deserves to be in the conversation for GOAT. Now, don't forget to let us know what you think about Chris Jericho in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you can even come follow me on Twitter at SimonMiller316. I'm Simon from WhatCulture, and I know I look a bit disheveled during this video. My hair needs shaving and my beard needs shaving, but I cut my head at wrestling training, so now I can't shave my head. So it means I have to shave my beard so it kind of looks even. Don't even worry about it. Just don't.